everybody. Welcome to this week's live stream. We're talking about a few news items today and an update on an experience I'm having right now. I'm trying to review the Caavo streaming box. If you haven't seen that, I'll update you on that in just a moment. As we are waiting for people to trickle in, I'll just let you know you can hit the live chat there. Let me know any questions or comments that you would like for me to address this week during the live stream. And also make sure that you hit the description. I've got a link in there. This is becoming really normal now. There's a link in just about every description we do these days for a giveaway. So if you're interested in our giveaways, go check that out. We just wrapped up doing a 4K TV giveaway. And then for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be gathering entries for NFL Sunday Ticket. Football season's coming up. And so you can enter to win NFL Sunday Ticket for the entire season. So I think that one, the page has not yet quite been updated with the NFL Sunday Ticket thing, but you can still, go bookmark the page, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you're here, it's probably because you're already subscribed to the channel, which is great. But yeah, bookmark that page and you can visit that. Check out when that update happens. Make sure that you are entered to win that. So I'll be reminding you guys throughout the course of this video about that one. So if you have any questions, let me know. Arcelia Gutierrez, hello. Nice to see you. So let's see. Okay, David Cole says if you want to talk about streaming shows, Amazon The Boys is awesome. Already renewed for season 2. Yes, I've heard almost nothing but good things about that one. I just finished last night the new season of Veronica Mars. I've been a Marshmallow. Veronica Mars fans are called Marshmallows if you're not familiar. I've been a Marshmallow since the show was on the air back in its UPN days, and so I've been very excited for the latest season and just finished watching the new one on Hulu. I'm not sure what to say. When it comes to shows like this, I'm not even sure whether I should say if I liked it or not, because some people consider even that a spoiler. So I'll just say, if you're a Veronica Mars fan, you should go check it out. If you're not, you should go see if you want to become one. Let's see. So, Netflix lost subscribers for the first time in 8 years. Still waiting for, I want to get a little bit more detail on that before I really dive into that particular news item. Okay, Sean Coma says, I lost my Yes Network from Sling TV Blue. Now I want to cancel it and get a new live stream service. Which one do you recommend? Well, that is the first item on our agenda. Yes Network, is that the Yankees sports? You'll have to help me out, but I believe that is the local Fox regional sports affiliate in New York. So if I'm wrong, let me know, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. At least that's what shows up when I stream the Yankees on MLB TV is Yes Network. So yes, it is the Yankees. So as of Friday, Sling TV, their talks with Fox regional sports networks broke down, and so they were not able to renew their contract with them. So Fox Regional Sports Networks is no longer on Sling TV, at least for the moment. I have to assume that they'll figure something out and they'll get that back up and running. But as of right now, those are gone. That doesn't mean that Fox Sports Network is gone. So FS1, FS2, as far as I know, those are still there. But the Fox Regional Sports Networks. And so those, if you're on something like the Yes Network, you use that for live sports, then yeah, this could affect you. It's you can still get it on all the other major ones: fuboTV, Hulu Live, PlayStation View, YouTube TV, DirecTV Now. They all still have the Fox Regional Sports Networks. Which one do I recommend? Lately, I've been recommending either Hulu Live or YouTube TV. It's been about 2 or 3 months since I was really, really immersed in the live streaming networks, and so I don't think enough has changed since then for me to change my recommendation. I think I would still probably say either Hulu Live or YouTube TV, but if you want other sports, like soccer, fuboTV is good. It used to be that that price was a big factor, and I would say, oh, don't go to DirecTV Now, they're ridiculously priced. And in a way, that's still kind of true. But the thing is, they're all, I mean, except for like Sling, they're all up in the 45, 50 plus range. So what are you gonna do? Anyway, so with but with this Fox Regional Sports Network thing, them leaving Sling TV, this is going to be a big deal. If, like me, like I said, I use MLB TV to watch baseball, which is great because I'm in Salt Lake, so the only market I can't get is Denver, and frankly, I don't care about the Rockies that much. But if you do run into the whole out of market thing where you're in New York City or in New York State and that's your market, and you aren't able to stream Yankees games, then you're gonna have to get something that carries the Fox Regional Sports Networks. So yeah, hopefully one of those other services will backfill for you. Let's see. I just want to catch up, make sure that I seeing what you guys are saying. MeTV, will MeTV ever be picked up on Roku? I don't know. I don't work for Roku. I wish I did work for Roku in a way. Don't tell my boss that. But Roku is one of I love Roku so much, and so if they offered me a job, they could offer me a job, in janitorial, and I'd probably take it. I love Roku so much. Let's see. Ever tried underground IPTV services? I use DirecTV Now, but let's see. I haven't dug too much into IPTV yet. It is on my list as I'm filling out, my understanding of the entire industry, but no, I haven't yet. Let's see. KM says, I wish these sports networks would break away from these big cable companies. Would also like to see a sports-only streaming package. My RSN plus all the national sports networks. I, too, would like to see sports networks break away from the big cable companies, but it's not. The industry is going through a ton of churn right now. The structure of all of these services is up for grabs, and we're going to be talking about HBO Max and how that fits into this conversation in just a moment. I don't see right now that change happening quite yet. Like, I don't see a Fox Regional Sports Network standalone streaming service quite yet. I think it would be more likely that we would see a proliferation of the MLB TV, NBA TV, NHL TV, or NBA, whatever the NBA is. I can't remember the name of that one off the top of my head, but those kind of sports specific streaming services. And so you pick the sport you want to watch and sign up for that streaming service. We already have something like that. What I would like to see in the future, as TV contracts kind of dry up, I would like to see that go where we don't have to deal with the whole out of market thing, out of market games. I would like it if I could just sign up for MLB TV and watch all the MLB games. That'd be great. Call me crazy. Let's see. H. Coleman 25, is Philo TV good? It is good as long as you don't want to watch sports and I think news. I can't remember the channel listing off the top of my head, but I know they have no live sports. So if you are cutting the cord and you want a live TV service and you want to watch sports, Philo TV ain't going to do it for you. So as long as that's not the case for you, it's great. In fact, it's great because it doesn't carry the live sports and because those are some of the more expensive programs or the more expensive programming for these carriers to offer. They're able to keep it cheap. I think last time I checked, it's $20 for Philo. So yeah, we've got some options there. Okay, let's move on now to AT&T news. There's a lot of AT&T news, including HBO Max. If you guys missed the announcement, this is one of the things that drives me crazy about AT&T is there was an announcement last week that they are going to announce more details about HBO Max on October 28th, if I remember the news story correctly. So we've had an announcement that now there will be an announcement. So this was, I believe, during an investor call with Randall Stephenson and others, he being the CEO of AT&T. And so they've announced that, hey, we're going to announce stuff in the fall. So late October, we'll get some details about what HBO Max is and what it will offer and for how much. One thing that did jump out that Randall Stephenson said was, he said, and this is a direct quote, "This won't be at the early stages of HBO Max, but you can assume that ultimately HBO Max will have live elements, including live sports." That's something that was being asked about, was live sports. And so we know that that will be the case, that they will eventually have live sports on HBO Max, which is interesting. Like I said, I mean, there's a lot of churn. We don't know how all of these structures are going to shake out with all of this live TV and on-demand TV and whatnot. Let's see. Hang on. I'm just checking out the chat while I'm doing this. KM, use a VPN. A lot of people suggest using a VPN. I've suggested it sometimes in the past. With a lot of these streaming sports services, they're putting safeguards in place to detect VPNs and not allow you to do that. So it's going to be kind of hit or miss right now. That's not something that we recommend because oftentimes you're going around the terms of use, and so it's not something that we technically recommend that you do necessarily, but it is something that a lot of people have done in the past. You just, like I said, you may not have the success now with it that you had in the past. Okay, back to AT&T. What I think is going to happen with this the live sports announcement, it is interesting because we've had a previous announcement that they said the new streaming service, now we know it was referring to HBO Max, the new streaming service would be in the $16 to $17 range for the new HBO Max. And so let's assume that that's true. When it launches, they'll do the beta late this year, and then they'll do the formal launch early next year. And let's say it launches at $16 a month. Okay, fine. It's a little more on the expensive side, compared to something like Disney Plus or Netflix or Hulu. But it is possible, it's reasonable and whatnot. But then let's say a year later they start adding live sports networks. Well, like I said, those are expensive networks for these services to carry. And so you could see HBO Max, if they do really lean into these live carriers, live sports, live news, that sort of thing, that price could jump significantly. And so kind of similar to what I see happening with Disney Plus, you get people in the door, get them liking your service, and then you raise that price later. I see that happening with HBO Max as well, especially if they lean into live sports. Let's see. Matthew Shaughnessy says, "I still think PlayStation Vue is the best live TV streaming service on the market. Best picture quality, has everything going for it, except its name." The name is the worst part. I will give you that for sure. It's always amazing to me. PlayStation Vue, more than any other streaming service out there, has its partisans, right? Like if you love PlayStation Vue, you love PlayStation Vue, and that says something about the service, right? If it's able to get that sort of brand loyalty. So I'm glad you like it. Not everybody does, but if it's worked for you this well, hats off to them and to you for matching up. So well done. Harry says, "Live sports or not, AT&T will raise the price." Well, if history is any sort of guide, then yeah, that's probably true. Let's see. Oh man, Matthew, you use the PS Vue Ultra package for $84.99. Whew. That's dedication to PlayStation Vue. $85 a month. Well, let's see. Tommy says, "Is Sling getting HBO backups? Sling going to add Fox News?" I don't know exactly what that means. I don't believe that if I understand the first part of this, is Sling getting HBO back? No, because AT&T wants to hold that for itself. They stopped carrying HBO on Dish Network. So you can see the pattern where they start pulling it from other providers, and so HBO kind of disappeared from that. But when they did that, when HBO disappeared from Dish, for instance, the HBO Now subscriber base jumped significantly, and so people liked it enough that they just went and signed up for the streaming service, which is exactly what AT&T wants. They want to cut out any sort of middleman, carrier, whatever. All right. What else? Now, we still don't know, like I was mentioning earlier with HBO Max, we still do not know exactly what the price is going to turn out to be. So, like I said, the rumor earlier was $16-17. I guess we'll see. Again, we've announced that it's going to be announced on October 28th, or, we heard the announcement that we'll hear the announcement on October 28th and hear exactly what that price is going to be. So we'll just have to wait for that. All right. Brian says PS View should be called View TV. I think that would work really well. I've also been an advocate for Sony View. It seems like that would work. Just get PlayStation out of the name. You're killing yourself with that name. And it might be too late, honestly. They might be... with all these other services like HBO Max and Comcast will be launching theirs in 2020. With Disney coming in, it may be too late for them to salvage that service. I mean, it'll still be around. It's just, will it grow? Will it be a major player? I have my doubts going forward. Okay. Evan says PlayStation View is the best, but can hurt the pocket. I assume that says pocket. Yes, it can. The pocketbook definitely takes a hit. Yes. D. Corbett says announcements are typically SEC shareholder based. And yeah, I mentioned that earlier in the video. I should mention that again. This was announced during a shareholder meeting. It was updating investors. So all the AT&T suits were kind of doing those updates. Yes, that is where that came from. T-Bone, I know DirecTV still has NFL, and they said staying, let's see, but any chance that's changed when we get a standalone NFL Sunday Ticket streaming service? That already exists. In fact, you can sign up for NFL Sunday Ticket as a standalone service, and we're going to be giving away one or two memberships for NFL Sunday Ticket this season. So for the next couple weeks, check out our giveaways page and make sure that you get a bunch of entries there, as many as you can. So there is a link in the description below me if you go check that out. Right now, I don't believe that it has been updated yet since the last giveaway that just ended on Friday. But we will be updating that in the next day or two. So keep that page bookmarked and make sure you're obviously subscribed to our channel so that you can see that when it goes live. Yeah, spell check, Evan. It's a thing, I'll tell you. Okay, what service do I use? Out of curiosity, that is a great question. I'm very lucky that I work for Reviews.org, and so I'm able to access all of these services when I'm doing reviews for work. Sometimes I log into them at home. Most of the times it's at the office. But at home, for personal use, I'm not rich enough to sign up for all of them. So I don't use a live TV streaming service at home. I cut the cord, 3 or 4 years ago, and it was shocking to me and illuminating how much I did not miss live TV. But that's just my personal viewing habits. I'm not saying that everybody needs to get off of live TV. I do see that happening, in 10, 15 years down the road, that live TV, except for sports, could become a thing of the past in some ways. So that's not to say that I don't think live TV is worth it right now, but I don't use it myself. I am signed up for Netflix, Prime, Hulu, and HBO. Those are my major ones. I mean, I use other free services, Pluto TV, Roku TV, that sort of thing. But I use those big four, Netflix, Hulu, Prime, and HBO for my day-to-day viewing. And so that comes out to, what is it, about $45 a month for all of that TV. And I tend to juggle Hulu. Hulu comes and goes depending on whether there's something that I really want to watch. Right now it's Veronica Mars. I just finished that one. And so I had to have Hulu for that. So it's been great. Okay, Brian says, because with PlayStation in the name, it implies that you have to watch it on a PlayStation only, and that's not true. Absolutely. Yep, we've talked about that in our PlayStation reviews in the past. It is definitely the biggest detriment historically to PlayStation View. Let's see. C. Tauber says, I like HBO Max over Disney Plus. Whew, there's a hot take. There's a controversial opinion right there. I'm putting my money on Disney Plus. I have to assume that when Disney Plus launches in November, there's going to be a mad rush, and they'll have 30 to 50 million subscribers within 3 months or something like that. It'll be massive. Disney Plus, and of course, that's not to say that it will be better, but it will be, I think, more popular than HBO Max. I could be wrong, but I don't think that I am, naturally. Okay. Oh, some interesting news, and this is kind of cord-cutting news in general. This isn't about any of these services in particular, but DirecTV, the satellite service, DirecTV, if you saw this, I think this news item popped up last week. DirecTV has lost almost 1 million subscribers in one quarter. This is quarter 2 of this year, so April through June. They lost nearly 1 million subscribers because they raised their price $10 for the base package, for every base package on DirecTV. They raised it by $10, and that was after a $5 price hike last summer. And so there's even more people are getting fed up with DirecTV. The question is, how many of them are migrating to, say, Dish or Xfinity or Verizon or some other TV provider, or if they are in fact, let's get rid of that. Or if they are going to cut the cord and sign up for one of these streaming services. There's no way for us to know until the other numbers come in, but I guess we shall see. But it's AT&T is also on the streaming side, I should mention, there is, if you didn't know this, a class action lawsuit from investors saying that AT&T lied about the failure of DirecTV Now. So that's going to be an interesting lawsuit to watch, to see what AT&T, kind of how they play a lawsuit about DirecTV Now. And I've been kind of thinking for a while that it looks like they don't really want DirecTV Now to be a thing for much longer. They want to shift everything over to HBO Max, and so we'll see how that all shakes out. Let's see. Oh, and that's on top of AT&T's other lawsuit. This is on the phone side. If you guys didn't see this, you should go check it out. It's kind of interesting. There's a lawsuit that's just been filed within the last couple days. AT&T is being sued for selling location data from its phones in ways that someone found to be unkosher, shall we say. And so we'll see what happens there, but there were instances of so AT&T would sell its location data to some third-party company, and then there were instances of law enforcement tracking people's phones without a court order and just by purchasing the location data from phones. So, interesting stuff like that. It's always wild to see kind of legally how all this stuff shapes up. I do not envy being a massive corporation like AT&T that probably just has constant lawsuits about one thing or another. Let's see. Stacy, glad I got away from DirecTV Now. Yeah, and I mean, look, I could be wrong. Nobody has come to me and said AT&T doesn't want DirecTV Now to be around anymore. I'm just going based on extrapolating from the information that we have. They really want HBO Max to work. They haven't been as diligent in pleasing their HBO Now, in pleasing their DirecTV Now consumers as you might want a company like that to be, from my perspective anyway. And so that's just kind of what it feels like to me. Evan, let's see. I watch 80 over-the-air channels here in Miami and also use on and off Philo TV with my Amazon Prime membership, but can't wait for Disney Plus to come out. Yeah, I mean, Evan, you and I are pretty simpatico, I think, with how this works. And over-the-air antenna is fantastic. Not everybody's going to get 80 channels, but you can get usually quite a few if you're within decent range of a tower. And so between that and something like, Philo TV, like you said, you can get some of those cable channels for pretty cheap. So that's great. Let's see. Sports Gamer for Life. Got rid of my Sling TV and got PS View. When did you do that? I'm curious. I'd be very curious to see PlayStation View's numbers and to see like how many new subscribers, what their churn rate is, how many people are sticking around, and how many people are signing up for PlayStation View these days. But that's great if you are enjoying them. It's like trading in a Buick Sling for a new Ferrari PlayStation View. Well, there you go. Glad you're enjoying it. So, one other thing I want to talk to you guys about, this is going to be coming up later this week, and so if you enjoy the other reviews that we do on this channel, you may enjoy this one as well. Let's see if I can hold this up so you guys can actually see it. There we go. This is the Caavo. If you've ever seen this, it is it's a streaming box that allows you to put in 4 different inputs and has one output to your television. And it's so the idea here is that it allows you to using a universal remote with voice search. It allows you to search between all your devices, all your services. What if you have Sling and Netflix and HBO and all that stuff. It allows you to do that, at least in theory. I'll be very interested in whether I am able to give you guys a review this week. I was supposed to last week, but I haven't been able to get it to work yet. So stay tuned for this, because this is what I'm going to be working on this afternoon. I'm going to be working on this Caavo, trying to get it to work. Interestingly, so I plugged it in, and the first thing it said after I plugged it in was like, "Welcome to your new Caavo. Now go call customer service, and we'll help you set it up." And it's like optional, call customer service, but it would hit it on screen after screen after screen, call customer service, and I'm like, I've been streaming for years. I'm tech savvy. I can set it up. I can't get the dang thing to work. So we'll see how that shakes out. Like I said, I'm going to give it another shot today and see if I can bring you guys a review that would probably hit our channel next week. But for right now, yeah, if there are any Caavo experts out there, then, hit me up in our messages or email me or something. So it should be interesting. Maybe I'll break down and actually call customer service and try to get this thing going. So hopefully you guys will stick around for that. Coming up next week. Matthew says, how does that device stack up to the NVIDIA Shield? It would take a lot for me to get rid of my Shield. It's not meant as a replacement at all. Actually, the idea here would be that you plug your NVIDIA Shield into the Caavo, and along with your Roku and your Apple TV and your Amazon Fire TV, up to 4 different devices can be plugged in there. And then you use this to seamlessly switch between those devices, at least in theory. So we'll see how it goes, but it's definitely not meant to get rid of your other devices. So one last quick update while you guys are all still here. We're going to be wrapping up here in, 60 or 90 seconds. But I did just get word that we will be updating that giveaways page today. And so make sure you keep an eye on that. Bookmark that giveaways page, which you can find the link for in the description below. We're going to be updating that with the NFL Sunday Ticket giveaway coming up here. So if you're a football fan, definitely check into that, because it's an expensive streaming service. And you don't want to have to pay for that yourself if you don't have to. So check it out, enter that giveaway, and we will give that away to, I can't remember if it's 1 or 2 people. Anyway, oh boy, I'm getting a couple things. Evan says that sounds pretty cool. I think you're referring to the Caavo. It does sound cool. I just can't get it to work, so we'll see if I ever can, and if I can, maybe it will be cool. And Calvin says, is it worth upgrading to Roku Ultra from the Stick Plus? That really depends on what you want out of your device. The Roku Ultra is my all-time favorite streaming device, and part of the reason for that is that I can plug Ethernet directly into the Roku Ultra, and so I have never had a buffering issue on my Roku Ultra ever, thanks to that. No Wi-Fi outages or whatever. And there's other stuff that goes along with it, but the Streaming Stick Plus, which I will say here, let me switch cameras here because I can show you this TV on the wall over there. That one uses Streaming Stick Plus, and I haven't had much problem. A little bit of issues with it, but not much. It's been pretty good, so no complaints about either one, but there are things about the Roku Ultra, like a remote finder, the Ethernet, and the optical audio that you can plug in there that, for some users will make it worthwhile. It's also one of the faster streaming boxes out there, at least basic streaming boxes. It's no NVIDIA Shield, but it's pretty good. Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I am going to cut this one here. We've been going for about a half hour. It's shocking how quickly these streams go, so thank you so much for joining me. Make sure that you hit the comments on this video or others when it's up so that we can address other questions that you might have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.